Angle this just a little bit and hit it right there. And don't look at this. Don't watch this as it's coming down. And your hands, just look right at that spot and your body will do the rest. Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Welcome to my shop today. I had a great question come in from one of my subscribers. His name is Enos. He asked if I could do what my plans are for Beaver Creek and the Rustic log cabin this upcoming summer. And I've been working on ideas for a video like that anyways. So once his comment came in this morning, I said that's kind of the frosting on the cake. So I decided that, you know, it is springtime. We're in between seasons right now. I decided that that was probably a really good topic so that you guys can kind of have an idea what's going on. So this week, for future plans of East Grand Woodsman and the Beaver Creek cabin, as well as the Rustic log cabin, today I'm going to talk about Beaver Creek. What are my plans for 2022 over there? As most of you know, we did some bartering last summer for that piece of property. I bartered an old boat and I was able to pick up the property, and then through the summer I managed to build a small cabin on that piece of property. Nothing fancy. It's no bigger than a shed. The cabin is 8 feet by 12 feet. So it's big enough that I got a place to sleep. I've got a wood stove in there. I will have a small kitchen. What we're working on now is I built up a counter this winter, a small counter, nothing big. Let me tell you, it's only about that wide. I believe it's 12 inches wide. You know, I had some cherry here, so it's made out of cherry. It's big enough just to put stuff on. That's it. It's not a sink counter. It's none of that. All that kind of stuff can be done outdoors. We can do dishes outside in the yard, so that's not an issue at all. I have a small gas stove that will be going in, a 3-burner gas stove. That will be going into that cabin. What else? I've got a propane heater that's going to go underneath the kitchen sink. I mean the kitchen counter type deal. It's hard to even call it a kitchen counter. It's going to be a place to put the coffee pot when it's not sitting on the stove. How's that? You know, like I said, a small cabin like that. It's all it is an emergency shelter, really. I'm so far back in there that if I have a problem, I want to have a place to go. And it gives me a place to store tools and all that. So the first thing that's on the agenda over there right now is getting the pipe staging hauled in. I don't know if you followed the videos last year or not, but last year I did a video on pipe staging. So I'm hauling in 8 pieces of pipe staging over there, all for tree stands. I'm going to build, you watched me last December build a fish house here in the driveway. So what I'm going to build now is 2 hunt shacks for tree stands. I want to build them a hunt shack because I want them big enough so that my grandsons can go with me and be comfortable, dry, warm, all of that. And I want them permanent. I want them to last. It's a good spot. Where I'm going to be hunting is a good spot. So that would be, so we're going to build that right here in the driveway. And then my plan is to haul it over in pieces, is prefab. I've done lots of prefab work over the years where I built stuff up and then moved it all over the state of Maine. Not quite so small as this, because these hunt shacks are going to be the size of my fish house. And the fish house is 4 feet by 7 feet. So that's what we're going to build here, is 4 feet by 7 feet to build a little small building that will sit on top of the pipe staging. One stand will be 2 sections of pipe staging. That's going to be the deer stand, so that'll put me up there about, time it's all said and done, about 15 feet. And then the bear stand is going to be up I'm thinking only one section, so we'll see, and that'll put me up 7 or 8 feet off the ground. So we'll see. I've got enough pipe staging to go up higher, but I'm not sure if I have to. So we'll see once we're over there, and I'll be dragging the pipe staging in, so it's all there anyways, and then we will go from there. And the reason I say that is because I plan on putting my bait quite a ways away from the stand, you know, so it'll be at least 100-yard shot from the stand, so that'll help with noise, smell, everything else, because I would like to have the grandsons to be a part of that. So the further I can get that bear bait away from the tree stand, probably the better odds that we'll have on taking a bear with one of them guys in the tree stand. So that's the plan anyways for right there. I've been gathering the materials. All last summer. I did have a little bit of a snag. I say get all. I got a big window for one of them because there's one side of the deer shack that I cannot ever imagine a deer coming in that way. I'll be able to shoot out that window if I want to, but it's not really going to be the main shooting lanes. But what it is going to be is a heat source, because it's going to be on the south side of the hunt shack, and it's just like the window that's in my fish house. It's the mate to it. So hopefully get a lot of heat through that window to help heat the hunt shack during the daylight hours. My plan is to not come down out of the hunt shack until after dark. So during the slow part of the day, when you're sitting up there and it's cold or chilly or windy, at least you could be comfortable leading into what I consider the good hours anyways. For me, the best hours are, 2 to dark, like everybody. So that would be, especially come muzzle loading season and all that. Here in the state of Maine, sitting in a tree stand during muzzle loading season is quite chilly. So my plan is, with both of them, is to be able to have a little bit of solar heat to help heat these fish houses during the cold part of the day. So, and that's my plan anyway. So, and then the windows will be all plexiglass. I'll be putting in some shooting windows all the way around the hunt shacks. I don't know the height yet. I'll figure out the height while we're out here building it in the driveway. And then I'm going to build plexiglass windows that are removable for during the day. They'll either be on hinges where I can lift them up and tie them to the ceiling, or they'll be something that I can actually remove and set in the corner, or have a slot in the hunt shack where I can hang them out of the way, and so it doesn't make any noise. And then I've got some carpeting here. You know, when you got a shop like this and you don't throw much away, you're always gathering up materials here and there. I've got an old piece of carpeting over here left over from a job years ago that I'll make these hunt shacks wall-to-wall carpeting, and that will cut down on the noise from up there. You know, when you're bringing boys with you, I'm looking at cutting down on noise a whole lot different. So let's see, that'll take care of some of the projects. We've got the we've got the deer hunt shack, we've got the bear hunt shack, trails and all that. That's different than trapping, but I'll get into all that in a different video. But that's the plans right now that are laid out for the Beaver Creek cabin. And I've also been doing a little series on Let's Talk Cabin. Let's Talk Cabin. And what I'm going to do in that series right now, I'm up to Let's Talk Cabin number 7. I will be very shortly, I'll be doing Let's Talk Cabin, and there will be the cabin tour of the 2 cabins. I'll do a cabin tour of Beaver Creek, and I will also do a cabin tour of the Rustic log cabin. And mainly what I want to get into in these cabin tours is each cabin is a little different, but I really want to get into the wood stove. I really want to show you how I've done my wood stove, because I want that to be one of the series here in the Let's Talk Cabin series. I want the wood stove installation. Looking over here because I've got a wood stove. But I want the wood stove installation to be part of one of these videos, because they are a small cabin, and because of being a small cabin, there's ways that you can put a wood stove in and still have a nice safe wood stove setup. So, and it's a whole lot easier for me to show you the setup than it is to try to explain it, because right now I've got 3 different setups with my daughter's little cabin. Hers is set up different than Beaver Creek. Beaver Creek is set up different than all of them. And then the one that's in the main cabin, the rustic log cabin, that's set up different also. So, and then out back I've got another small building with a little wood stove in it. I always put in some kind of a wood stove in the buildings, because you never know. You get in there in the wintertime. It's nice to be able to light a fire in the wood stove, heat the place up, and work on a project or two, and just plain have a good time. So, but that's my idea anyways for Beaver Creek. Have a cup of coffee with me. Have a nice sip. And I think that's gonna wrap it up. And I will see you next week.